Welcome to We Are the Remedy, where each week we highlight a person from the community who embodies the idea of people helping people.
Good morning. This is, no, it's not after. It's kind of afternoon,
Yeah, it's
correct?
good,
No,
good
yeah.
evening, good evening.
Good evening. Good evening. So my name is Mike Pritchard, and I'm here with Darlene and Trevor, and we are the Remedy. And what we try to do is find solutioneering for local community unity matters, things that will help our community grow wiser and more well. We always tell everybody that the I is illness, but we is wellness. And when we find solutions that can uplift the community and unify the community and help the community inspire others, that's what we're all about. And that's what our show, We Are the Remedy, is all about. It is, we are the solution, and we're the medicine for a better, kinder community, locally and globally as well. So Trevor and Darlene are very insightful people. I met Trevor when he was on my show right after Columbine, and he was a wise soul then, and he's a wise soul now, who actually runs a studio. I'm gonna let him introduce himself. And Darlene is our friend who is a professor of emotional wisdom and insight and the prevailing spirit of being a person who can uplift and inspire people, from speaking of her own journey and how to help inspire others in our local community. Trevor, you want to kick off?
That was a beautiful introduction, Mike. We just had our Donuts for Breakfast show with you this morning, and then a bunch of us went for our walk for coffee, and it's like, we're all walking on cloud nine. I mean, the energy, the words of wisdom, the life spark, so to speak, we're just,
great line,
on fire.
Right.
In a good way, of course, because I know fires nowadays in California are what they are.
Exactly.
But we're crackling.
Yeah, we're crackling. I like it.
Crackling.
I like it.
You see the sparkle?
Right?
I love you.
So today, one of the things that Mike and I talk about is neurodiversity and disabilities, right? And there's this kind of stigma around disability, right? And you kind of talked a little bit about it in our show this morning, about your career work, your career development work. And, many people that have some sort of disability, it's really hard for them to find a full-time job or the same equal pay or anything like that, because they can't get through the interview process, right? Without being boxed or judged or
it's over and out.
Stereotyped.
Right?
Yeah, you've been brushed into a little.
Yeah.
Right.
Nice for you to come. Thanks for coming today, but there's really no serious consideration going on.
Wow.
Yeah.
Right. And so, you have what some would be considered a disability.
Yeah. What?
Right? But you see it as a gift.
Yes.
Right? So why don't you tell
me.
us a little bit about, well, that's what I said, some would see as a disability, right?
Yeah.
But that's exactly why we're doing this interview. Right there, whole show, done and done, right there, right?
It's a wrap.
Right?
We can go.
Let's go. So Darlene, why don't you tell us a little bit about your story?
Sure.
Right.
So yes, I have a disability, and I'm totally blind. So if you close your eyes and then you put your hand over your eyes, that's what I see. So every morning when I open my eyes and start a brand new, beautiful day, it looks like last night. Hopefully last night was fun, because we're going to do it again. So total blindness, and it's been since November of 1998. Detached retinas. So I lost the sight in my right eye when I was 11 years old. I was shooting hoops in the driveway in San Jose, California, and I saw blue flashes of light, and then a curtain came down over part of my vision, and I couldn't see the basket. And I could look down and see the basketball in my tennis shoes, but if I looked up, the whole part of the sky and the basketball rim was gone. So I used to wear glasses as a little one, and I was 11, and so I ran in and told my mom, and she got me an appointment the next day, and the whole ball went.
Right.
They're like, whoa, total giant tear, which they don't usually see in 11-year-olds. Right. So in 24 hours, basically, the next morning I woke up and there was no vision, and it never came back.
And so that was in.
I was 11, so 75, I think.
Yeah.
So then when I was 35, I was married. I had no, I was 20. How old was I? No, I was 28. I was married at the time, had a 2.5-year-old baby girl, and was pregnant. The month I found out I was pregnant with my second and my youngest, my retina tore from my left eye. So started a 6-year journey at that point to save my sight, because as I stated in the show a little while ago, there was one thing I was not going to be, and that was the B word. I was not going to be blind. I could be visually impaired. I could have low vision.
Right.
I was fighting for the sliver of sight, because if I could even use a high-powered magnifier and see, like, I was willing to go. I could give up my license. I wasn't going to give up my, seeing. I was afraid of it. I didn't want to be blind. I thought,
Good for you for that honesty.
it's like, okay, it's a visual world. How can you sit there being a sighted person and go, blind will work? Like, if you think of your job, driving your car, going through the grocery store, like, how do you do any of that without any sight?
What was that anxiety doing to you, Darlene? Because you're a mom and you've got two lives that are so...
I got one on, had one on the way, and I had a baby. It made me fight really hard. I had, I discovered I'm tenacious.
Yes,
that's a good
you
word,
are.
right?
Indeed.
I have a strong heart will.
Right.
And I knew I wasn't fighting for great sight. I was fighting for any sight. Right? And it was enough. But in the 12th surgery, I woke up in the recovery room, and my beautiful doctor, James Wells, who had fought with me for 6 years, he said, "You should have been blind 6 years ago, honey. It was your will that got us to this day, but it's over, and for various eyeball reasons, right? It was done. And so that was that. And that was 5 days before my youngest turned 6 years old. So I sat at that 6-year-old birthday party completely blind. It was over. And it's like I heard the world around me, and I could have been an alien visiting from another planet. I felt so alone, so different from everybody else. And, in the United States and probably globally, but I'll just say for here, having, been born and raised in California and being an American citizen, we have an us and them mentality.
Got it.
And we have an us and them mentality about a lot of things, but we all speak about this topic, people with disabilities. So I was an us, and then I became a them.
And you said something earlier, us as in being sighties.
Yeah.
Sighties.
Sighties. So sighties, you sighties,
Yeah,
right?
we're sighties.
So or without disabilities, with disabilities. So you could be like those of us who are walking around, there are them who use wheelchairs. Right? So they're not as smart as we are. Right? They could be a professor. They could be They could be a bricklayer. They could be, a mommy, a daddy, it doesn't matter what they are, it doesn't matter.
We got a label.
We see the chair. That's all we see. We see the chair, and you're here. So they get patted on the head. That's craziness, right? So, but same thing, I'm completely blind. So when I could see and I would go shopping and I'd ask a clerk a question, the clerk would answer me. Now, if I go, say, with, my partner or my sister or some, we go and I ask a question, the clerk answers the sighted person with me. See, because there's this thing, like it's like our vision goes, like we look at a person with it and we go, whoa. It's like there's we're slippery, like your vision has to go, whoa. It slides off somehow. We have this built-in, okay, well, you can't be as smart as we are. You can't see, so you probably can't think and make decisions for yourself. You can't walk on two legs, so you obviously are not. It's this weird thing we do. We're nice people doing this.
They're more imprisoned than the person with limitations. They're more imprisoned because of the stereotypes, the judgments.
Yeah, it's like it's easier to.
Do you think it's more because they're afraid to meet someone's eye or to meet someone where they're at, or they don't know what to
I
do,
think
or
it's
is
just
it
a lack
more
of
of
understanding.
awkward?
It's innocent.
right?
Right.
It's not malicious.
Yes, it's not malicious.
It's not malicious. It's not like if I'm in a restaurant with somebody and the server comes over and says, let's say you and I are out to lunch or something, and the server will say to you, does she want more coffee?
Right.
She's not trying to be evil,
Right.
Right.
you know, and I go, yes, she would.
I'm right here. Right.
Right here, I'll take another.
Right.
You know, and I you know,
Like I may not be able to see you, but you can see
but
me.
hello,
I'm still right
you know,
here.
it's like,
yeah.
do you remember like for those who are parents and you have the babies,
Yeah.
and the baby is like they're playing hide and seek,
Right.
and they're like 18 months old, 2 years
Yeah.
old, even 3 years old, and they're on the
Peekaboo.
couch, and they get under the blanket. All they've done is put the blanket on their head. Their little diaper is, their little bum is in the air. The whole body is showing, but they're hidden like this, right? It's like that. The perspective
Right.
is not all the way there yet, right? And they
Exactly.
don't, they think they're hidden. But it's like that. It's like just a sliver of the perspective, and it's not malicious.
That's a great metaphor.
So all you have to do is say, you know what? I would love more coffee. Thank you. She's not going to do that again.
Right.
I don't have to go,
You don't have to blow up.
hey, you know what? I'm right here. I'm not invisible. He's like, you don't need to be,
Right.
It's like, it's not intentional.
Why is it important to have that tone as well, Darlene? Because when you're teaching everybody in instruction, the most wonderful instruction is in a wise and empathic way and not in a harsh and sarcastic way.
Yeah. It's like, okay, you can have a 3-year-old baby in your life right there who does something or says something. You have a teaching moment.
Yes.
Now, you can be a parent that goes, you're an idiot.
Yes.
Oh God, oh, the vibrations go out to the universe of what you just did.
Right.
The resonance of shattering that baby. Or you can go, oh yeah, I see what you did. Okay, I see why you did. Okay, that's really good. I like how you did that. Let me show you a different way that we can do that if you're trying to get that shoe on. Because it's upside down, it's backwards, and the shirt
Right.
is like this. It's like, and their arm is up in the air, and they're trying to put their right. Like you can tell them they're stupid. It's like you're an idiot. You can't dress yourself. You could do that, or you can say, you know what, nice try.
Yes.
That's my
And it
dad.
works with people with college degrees and doctorate degrees.
Yeah,
and
you know,
advanced,
like if you're an employer, if you're a co-worker, if you're a sister, a brother, a mommy, a daddy, a best friend, a server, your customer service, there's, my grandma used to say, what is it? You catch more flies with honey than you do
Right.
vinegar,
Of course.
right?
Yeah.
That holds,
Right.
It's like, look, if it's not, it's really interesting. I say it's not personal, and you want to make it personal. Don't take it personal.
Right.
Make
Wow.
it personal.
Great line.
Right? So
Yeah.
don't
Don't
it's
take
like
it
I'm gonna take
personal.
that personally. You just insulted me. Do you
Right.
think I'm in it? Okay, but I could make this more personal now.
Right.
Like I can make you my sister. You
Right.
want to be my brother under the skin, like you don't mean anything by it.
Right.
And even if you're rude to me, it's still not personal.
Right.
It's you're
It's my
projecting,
issues,
you're projecting something onto me. I don't have anything to do with it.
Right.
So I don't have to take it personally, but I can help make it more personal. And you can take it or leave it,
Yeah, I kind of want to run about 17,000 different scenarios right now, so you
Yes.
can just run through each one of them
Yes,
and
go
show
ahead.
us a live
We can
example.
do it. We can do it. It's,
But I mean,
it's always going to come down to the
Right.
same answer.
Well, that's exactly
Yeah.
it. That's why it's like, okay, someone. We talk about it every once in a while.
Right.
Someone cuts you off on the freeway.
Yes.
Right. They're
Yes,
not
yes.
trying to do it to you.
No.
Right.
No.
It's you can take it personally, or
Yes.
you can make it personal.
Yes,
I don't know how
yes.
you make it personal on the
You
freeway.
do. You make
but-
it personal because put yourself in their shoes
Right.
and go, have I ever cut anybody off
Right.
intentionally
Right.
Exactly.
Right.
when I'm pissed off?
Right.
When I've had a moment, right?
Right.
Okay, or unintentionally, like, what?
Right,
Sorry,
right.
Yeah.
sorry,
Yeah.
sorry.
Yes.
Yeah.
Maybe that was their moment.
Right.
There are millions of us on the road, and for those of us who I haven't driven since August 24th, 1992, but who's counting? When
Not yet.
you're driving and you cut somebody off, you didn't mean to.
Right.
Half the time it's like, oh, geez, and you're so sorry,
Right.
but you did it.
Right.
maybe it's their turn to
Right.
be that person to go absentmindedly. Maybe they just got the
Right.
call that their child is sick at school and they're taking their lunch break to go get them and they got to, it's like,
You don't know the story.
they don't know.
Yes.
You don't know.
Yeah.
So don't take it personally, but make it personal. Step into their shoes. And you know what? They could be a jerk. They could be acting like a jerk. They could have done it to you on purpose. Who cares?
Right.
It's still your moment to ask yourself, who am I in the face of this?
Right.
You know,
Yeah.
am I kind
Yeah.
or have I just allowed whatever just happened externally to me? Now I'm going to go home and kick my dog or yell at my
Right.
baby girl or slam my front door or, whatever.
Right.
Like it's
Right.
your pivot point.
I always like that line by the little kids. They say, "Don't play angry tag
Right.
with people. Don't play angry tag."
Yeah, like tag, you're it.
Yeah.
Okay, you pissed me off, I pissed you off.
Yeah.
Isn't that what got the world and where we are now? We're all sitting back and go, what about our world leaders? Why are they doing it like this? It's because they one up each other.
Right.
Because they obviously didn't get this memo that, like, guys, it starts here.
Right. Well, when I teach anger management, I was telling a story. I said anger past 30 seconds is ego, and one of the kids goes, "And the ego is not your amigo."
Yeah,
So,
I like it. The ego is
I
not
think
your
we
amigo.
learn, that one of those moments when we were cracking up. One of the comedians I work with, we were doing a show, and a very angry guy, and his face was covered with bruises and a couple of teeth knocked out, and he said, "Do you guys remember me from anger management course?" And we were like, "Oh, how's that working out for you?" You know.
Wow.
And so you learn, I think, that some folks can become their own punishment.
Oh, sure.
Right?
Well,
All
Aren't we all?
in some way.
I'm
all of
either
us.
my best friend or my worst enemy.
Exactly
And I get
right,
to make
Darlene.
up. I get to wake up completely blind every day. So a lot of people go, God, look what you've overcome. And I say, I've given a lot of thought to that, and I don't really overcome anything.
Right.
I mean, I'm still blind.
You're still
and
blind, yeah.
every single day I met with similar challenges. Like, I could go home and run into the island in my kitchen with my hip bone.
Right.
Chances are I will.
Yeah.
Some, there are days where it's like, I'm around that, and I don't.
Yep.
I have my guide dog Radish right here. She's a little black Labrador Retriever, laying on the floor right here. But she doesn't do guide work at home. I don't use my white cane. I know my house, but sometimes, I take my shoulder out on a door jamb, or
Right.
my forehead on a cabinet door, and it happens, and it's every day. Blindness gives me the gift of, who are you now?
Right.
It's not personal. Getting hurt,
Right.
it's not out to get me. It just is. And I was saying earlier that I just in September, on the 4th of September, had a very bad attack by a German Shepherd. He grabbed me by my head. Long story. And I'm recovering from that, and he remodeled the top of my head. I have a scar from here to here, and in the jaws of this beautiful black German Shepherd that we were trying to save and rescue, I'm thinking, this is not going to go well for you. Like, for either one of us.
Right.
Like in the moment, I didn't hate him. I didn't scream, and there's something about getting that it's already all right.
Yes.
Like, if we can stay right here, right now, and have trauma without drama, then we eliminate a lot of, like, the incident's real.
Right.
It's real.
If
Like,
you-
whatever happened to you is real.
Right.
But it can stop there.
And if we apply that, because, Darlene, when I was a probation officer, I would see young men who were deeply wounded, and their anger and their irrational anger and their violence and their irrational violence, I tell people they are crying with bullets instead of tears. And in this,
Reactionary, they go external with
yes,
their pain.
and
Yeah.
when you have a dog that's wounded,
Yeah.
Our dog, who was a rescue, was it had cigarette butts put out on it. It had been hit by a chain. And now, having been in our home for such a long time, it is not only healed, it is a healer for my wife, who's going through some health crisis. and watching how the dog in its senior years almost empathically and earnestly feels her sorrows and takes care to be close to her. And I think that you are teaching a lesson in the immediacy of forgiveness because you understand where that might have come from.
Absolutely. He didn't mean to do it. He's not, he's not out to get me. It was a response, and it's from his past or it's neurological. It doesn't matter. He got me. It was bloody. He got both my forearms and my wrists. I'm healing beautifully. Got a new do out of it, right? Used to have long hair, and now I'm, woo, footloose and fancy.
You're
right?
still a dish.
That's it. I'm still a dish. And it's like and I love him. And I got to know his heart in the 24 hours that he was in our home and rolled over on his back with his was, and he's a good boy. That happened. It wasn't personal, right? And so what I'm saying is the challenges will present because we're in a physical world.
Right.
We're dealing with matter here, and where only one thing can occupy a space at a time, right?
Yes.
So you may bump up against it.
Yes.
Right. And so with blindness, it's a gift that keeps giving me the opportunity to bump up against life. It's not like I'm sitting here and I'm like, I'm resolved.
Right.
Okay,
Yeah.
how's life for you guys?
Yeah.
I have no issues. I've got this handled. They keep coming.
They come, and why is it
And
important?
they go.
Why is it important to teach everything you've applied from this attack to folks who are dealing with the homeless, dealing with those that are lost and suffering souls on the street, who have been incarcerated, maybe imprisoned, veterans of wars and traumas in early childhood? Why is it important to take everything that you've applied to what happened to you and apply it to them, as opposed to the judgment that comes and the displacement that comes from resentments of somebody trying to have an ulterior motive? Why is it so important to take that emotional wisdom that you have garnered from that suffering and pain?
I think because when that dog snapped and grabbed me,
Right.
there was a physical interaction. It's real. It's not in my head. He was on my head. It wasn't in my head. It was real. So we're not arguing with reality that
Right.
the event happened, but it ended right then.
Right.
So where the suffering would come in afterwards is how I feel about what happened. Because it's over. It lasted less than a minute. And I could be 2 months later hating the dog, never going to rescue a dog again. I'm afraid of German Shepherds now. I'm never going to, they're bully breeds. Did you hear German Shepherds? It's like, you could go there.
Right. Of course.
But that hurts. So like now, if I do that, I'm not with you anymore.
Right.
I'm gone. I'm not present anymore.
Right.
I'm back in my living room in the jaws of that dog.
Right.
And fear is the little dark room where negatives are developed.
Mm-hmm.
So instead,
Yes.
how are you feeling now? Right, when you talk about
Yeah,
it,
yeah,
what
trauma.
do you feel?
Yeah.
Like and going forward, right?
yeah.
Like what's the reverse side?
I love him. So what I feel is a sadness in my heart that he had to pay with his life, Trevor, because, better me than a 3-year-old.
Right.
Right.
So
Right.
if baby boy is going
Wow.
to snap,
Yeah.
he snapped on me and we got it over with and we learned.
Right.
So I'm grateful that there's no dead baby out there.
Right.
That there's no senior who's walking around out there who's taken down by a big dog that,
Right.
for whatever reason, we're never going to know,
Right.
he left his senses.
Yes.
So it's over. And
Yes.
I'm healing. And I
Yes.
got this.
Right.
Yes.
And I love dogs. And my Labrador is at my side. And we will rescue another dog that needs our help.
Right.
Because you get on with it.
Right.
You get on with it because I know who I am. I know that I'm well. And yes, my scalp is, it's not like you can go, yeah, but you have no ill effects. It's easy for you. No. If I was like to put my head down and show you, it's from here to here. It's not done yet.
Right.
It's there. So I do this cute little thing. I go like that. And I go, is it showing?
Right.
You know, and I do that like that,
Well,
and you move on.
The line trauma is from the Greek word wound. And there are none so wounded as they cannot heal. And healing is not just about physically, it's emotionally and spiritually. And you're a teacher of this. You're a teacher of spiritual healing. You're a teacher of emotional healing and emotional wellness, because you have endured much and you inspire, which comes from the Greek word to breathe in the Spirit. And as Trevor and I sit here breathing in the Spirit of the noble Darlene O'Brien, you get overwhelmed in your presence, because you are an epic teacher of such enlightenment that, I want every one of my kids to sit and listen to these shows so that they can learn that wisdom.
I'm nothing special.
Yeah. No, I
That's
understand
it.
what you're saying.
Guys, I don't want anybody walking away going, well, she knew because she's got.
We can choose to
Yeah.
become.
That's it. No. This is like what I bring is uniquely Darlene, but I can't bring what you bring. And I can't bring what you bring.
Right.
And I can't bring what your children bring. They got to bring it.
Right.
And you may have experiences that seem like, well, that's keeping me down. Well, that's getting in my way. But what if they're the gift? What if whatever's happening to you, from being abused to being in a car accident to losing your job to the person breaking up with you, to what if that's the vehicle that helps you go, who am I now?
I always get an impression of Oprah and Eckhart Tolle sitting there going, Darlene.
Well, and I think
Darlene, what
you
Darlene
are
said.
also is an inspiration for people to know that they can do it.
It's
Right.
not like exclusive. Oh, but
No.
'cause
Yeah.
I have failed utterly.
Right.
If people go, yeah, but that's not from. I
Right.
can't do. Then then
Right.
we
The
failed.
conversation's over already.
Over.
Yeah.
We ended it because yes, you are.
Right.
Yes, you can. You already are this. You came here with it already in you.
Frequency. Yeah.
So
Yes.
in the moment, we're coming towards the tail end of our show
Oh, man,
already.
already?
I know. which just means we'll have to do several.
Okay.
more.
Several
We need
more.
a
So
series.
I want to do a quick shameless plug for you. And there's nowhere where you can go to follow it yet. However,
not yet.
we are working with Darlene to create a show where she will be then interviewing people, and it will be an ongoing live stream broadcast.
Yeah.
I mean, not ongoing. Well, there's details and all of that stuff that I said. Anyway, there's going to be a heck of a lot more Darlene, and she's going to be interviewing other people. And so, and we'll also probably definitely have you back on our show. But and to wrap up the show, and today, I want to be like, what's your morning routine, right? Like we talked about earlier before, like filling your well, right? Yeah. There's got to be days, like I feel like right now, there's never a day where your well is not full.
Not true.
Right?
Well, no, wait, let me.
Well,
It's always full, but I may feel like it's not so full.
Right.
Got it.
And so
Got it.
Well put.
what I'm hoping is, everybody reads self-help books because they want the answer on how to do something, right? So, I don't know, no pressure, give them the answer.
Okay. Okay.
No pressure.
No pressure, just give them the answer,
Yeah,
because I think you well, I know you are it. You have it. Your experience,
Yes.
your
So
inspiration.
the answer is you. You're the answer. So I can't go someplace else to get peaceful, to get happy, to get anything. I can get answers and I can learn a lot, and
Right.
I do. I love to read. I
Yeah.
do a lot of that. But it all points to one thing. It all leads home. It's in here anyway.
Inside. Yeah.
So, and people go, that sounds great. Great philosophy.
Right.
That does. What are you talking about? The answer is close your eyes and think about a moment of victory. Think about a moment where you kicked the winning goal. Think about the moment where you passed the test. Think about the moment where you did something, said something,
Right.
was something that you went, yes. Like you resonated, yes. That's who you are. So if you don't have a lot of moments like that throughout your day, go to that one and close your eyes and relive what it felt like, because that's who you really are all the time, without anything in the way, without a belief system, right? So go there and do it as often as you can throughout the day, because it becomes muscle memory, and you know it, and you know it, and you recognize yourself, and you recognize yourself, and you recognize yourself, and those moments will grow. You know, I will bounce off the island. It's going to happen, guys.
Yeah.
But I know past that.
Right.
I know I'm okay past the bouncing off the island.
Right.
Even though it's going to happen someday.
Right. Yeah.
Could be this afternoon.
Right.
I was when you first explained that, my moment is every morning I wake up and I give myself a self high five.
Sure.
That's my moment of victory.
Right. Yep.
Like there's many times where I should have perished. You know, I feel very fortunate that I'm still on this earth, and every day I get the opportunity to experience life in its fullest.
God.
Be the remedy, be the blessing, be the medicine. And Darlene
And throw your arms
Trevor.
in the air.
Right.
Yes.
Everybody,
Victory.
let's do this right now. Put them in the air.
Woo!
Like this, right? Like,
Oh,
woo!
it'll be
Great job!
the cruising.
There's a power to that. There's a resonance to that. That you're like, it's hard to be depressed when you look like this.
Right?
Right?
love
Like,
it.
throw them in the air. That's victory.
That's awesome.
There you go.
Great job, kid.
Thank you so much, Darlene.
All right.
Thank you very much.
done.
Thank you, everyone, for tuning in today to We Are the Remedy. Again, I'm gonna, like I did this morning, recommend watching this with your mouse on the pause button, just ready, because there's gonna be moments where you're gonna want to take a breath and let it sink in. Let it sink in what your moment of victory is. What is that feeling? Any moment that someone cuts you off, or has a moment where you bump into a counter, or don't get to hang out with Michael Pritchard, whatever that moment is that brings you down, that moment of victory is what you can bring back up and bring yourself to the top.
Back into alignment.
Back into alignment. So thank you for, again, being part of the show. Thank you for watching. We are all the remedy. Go out there, share your story, share a smile with someone, and continue being people helping people. Thank you.